Hey y'all, I'm Val with Our Forever Farm. It's a beautiful rainy day. We haven't had rain in so long, it feels like. The guineas are up there in the corner enjoying the rain. Some of the chickens are out, some of them are in. It's just a beautiful day. I love rain. I put the chickens a new chicken door in, so they have a door to their coop that opens automatically, and they have a door to their run that automatically opens. That way I don't have to come out morning and night. Did y'all hear Negan? Did you hear him crow? I wish he'd do it again. I can't get a good picture of him. There he is. It kind of sounds like a sick crow, don't it? Let's see if he'll do it again. He's a teenager. He's just learning. It's beautiful. I love it. Look at the chickens. They've learned where their chicken door is, so they're coming out. He called them is what it is. He called them to come. Hear him? He's calling them. He's found something. Negan's funny. So if he finds one guinea alone, which that one's outside the fence, won't back in, he will be the man. He will want to chase it just like he's doing, as long as there's a fence in between, and he will want that guinea. Here he comes. But if there's a flock, he will not attempt it. He's a chicken. There's all the guineas. Sometimes they do fly out of the fence, and I just have to look at Negan. He's chasing it, only because there's a fence between it. Isn't it hilarious? He can't get to it. Hilarious. Now, if that one guinea was with the other guineas, Negan would not be doing that. Whoa! There they come to the rescue. Now watch Negan run. Is that not hilarious? All right, y'all, we're gonna go in and make a delicious peanut butter sheet cake. So today we're gonna use 1 box of yellow cake mix. Yes, the bulk kind. I'm just using my stand mixer, but you can use any mixer you want. Next, we're putting in 1/2 cup of softened butter. If it's not softened, just stick it in the microwave for about 10 seconds. Now we're going to add 1 cup of water. Next we're going to add 4 eggs, and I do these in a separate dish in case you were to get shell in there, then you would see it before you add it into the cake mixture. And before I forget, the recipe will be in the description box. I like to gently beat my eggs before I add them to the mixture. This is such an easy cake to make, and it reminds me of school, back in the days when they had the peanut butter sheet cake in the lunchroom. Next, we're gonna add 1/2 cup of creamy peanut butter. And next, we're just gonna mix it all up in the mixer. You're gonna mix this up just like the directions on the back of the box tell you to mix it up. And you always want to scrape the sides. Now we're getting the cake ready to go in the pan. We're just gonna scrape everything down in the bowl and get all that goodness in there. Then we're gonna get a sheet cake pan. I have one particular one that I love, and just as a note for my children, this pan means a lot to me. It was left at our last farm, and I treasure it. Next, we're just gonna spray it with Pam or any other spray. So I've got my oven preheated at 350, and now I'm just going to pour the mixture into the sheet pan and spread it out. I like peanut butter, but I'm not a real big peanut butter fan like my husband is. But this cake is absolutely delicious. And it's very easy to make too, as you can see. As you all know, all ovens are different. Also, our pans are different. So I say check it at 20 minutes. It could take up to 35 minutes. I'm setting my timer for 20. So this is about 25 minutes later and my cake is done. I have checked it one time at 20 minutes and you can tell, I like to just feel of it, but you can take a fork and if it comes out dry, it's good. Also at the top, you can see where the cake is pulling away from the pan. That's a good way to know too. Now let's start on the icing. Now this is optional. I always sift my confectionate sugar, or I try to. This recipe calls for 4 cups of powdered sugar. It calls for 1 stick of margarine or butter. I just let it melt in the pan. And then it calls for 6 tablespoons of buttermilk. I love buttermilk in a cake. I just think it gives it such a good taste. Now we're adding a 1/2 cup of peanut butter. We've got our stove on like a medium low. We're adding a teaspoon of vanilla. And then we're just going to stir it until all this is melted together. You don't want to boil it. You just want to melt everything together. Next, we're going to add our powdered sugar. And I do this a little bit at a time. I add about half of it and then stir it right in the pan. I've turned my heat off. And if you're wondering why I sift it, it's because sometimes little lumps form in your icing. I mean, it doesn't hurt a thing. It tastes delicious. But as you stir it, the lumps just don't dissolve in the icing. And that's the reason I sift mine. And it still could happen, but that makes it a lot better. So I'm adding the remaining confectionate sugar. And then I'm going to stir it all together. Now, if this is too dry, like mine is, you will add just a little bit more buttermilk. If it's too runny, you will add just a little bit more powdered sugar. Now this is about the consistency that I like it. I like it where I can spread it on the cake. And this is a cake that you can spread it on warm or cool. You don't want a hot cake, but you can spread it on while it's still warm. It's really, really good. Sweet Hunter drank a cup of coffee with it. He loved it. I love sheet cakes. I just think they go a long way. We usually eat a couple of pieces, like one in the afternoon and the one the next morning, and then I freeze the rest. So I'm cutting this a piece, and I'm going to fix his coffee, get him settled in, and then I'm going to do a taste test. It's a pretty cake, too. It looks like fall, doesn't it? So I'm giving it a quick taste test just to see what I think. I had somebody tell me I take big bites, but I'm in a hurry. I want to get in there with Sweet Hunter. It's a very good cake. Very good, I will say. I love it warm. Now I'm getting busy, and what I'm doing is I'm putting it on little small plates, and then I put it in a Ziploc bag. I put them in the freezer, and we have them anytime we want. You can pull it out, pull a cake out of the freezer, and it'll thaw out in 10 minutes. It's wonderful. I love to have desserts in the freezer. Y'all go cook something.